so much at a spiritual level of how I feel that that's so important to maintain that alignment with self and not to be controlled and not to be pushed in little boxes. Yes. But what was amazing about this film is that I want to reference right now is that there was a part where the guy that's assisting her, he said, you know, you're different. When you get afraid, you wake up, where a lot of people, they shut down. And that line in the movie is the biggest one that stood out to me, is how do we handle what happens to us? And for my soul in particular, one of the things that I feel an honor for my own soul is that when something happens, it's intense and it's fearful, it wakes me up every time. I wake up and I become more aware, more tuned into every single thing. Like I will pay attention to everything. It's like spidey senses are activated. And we all have the ability to tune in greater when things start to feel tense or scary and fearful, or we can shut down. And that is our choice. That is really where our most important power lies, moment to moment, is not what are people doing to you, or what is the government doing, or what are the neighbors doing, what is your daughter doing or your son doing. It's what are you doing with that? What are you going to do with that information? Yeah. How are you going to take that fear of the unknown, and how are you going to face it and move right through it? How are you going to take that fear of change and just embrace that change and move forward in a new way? And I promise that as each of you trusts in yourself, as you love yourself and you realize you're important, you realize that your evolution is very important, you will start to make forward movement, and this will become more natural for you. Fear will come to all of us. Fear touches every one of us. But what do we do with it? That's the magical question. And so I'm going to pause for a second because I've been going for a while and see if there's any comments or questions.
Well, there's a comment from Ron.
Okay, what's Ron
got? He
got?
says, you're right, Tanya. Not letting circumstances dictate life's outcome. I'm adopted, and at times in my life, it was used against me like a defect. You know, I had abandonment issues. I just focus on the positive, amazing soul I am in the now, and all fear is gone.
Yep. That's awesome. Sounds like he's been hanging out with me.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Yes, and it's true with what Ron's saying. Like, yeah, I really do love that guy. Yeah, and when I met Ron, like he had a lot of abandonment issues from that, and it was triggered way back to that adoption and how much that can affect a soul vibrationally. This is the stuff that I help souls with my auric clearing work that I do, is that we help them tune into those vibrational misalignments. That it doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. It's just cellularly something happens to a soul and it creates a trauma, which creates a memory, a cellular memory. And then that memory gets kind of stuck like a record. And this can happen, we hear about it like when people have post-traumatic stress. We acknowledge it then. If a war vet comes back with post-traumatic stress, oh, they've got trauma. But this happens to a child that vibrationally comes in. Mother rejects the child. I can't take it, can't handle it. I got to adopt my baby. That child feels that vibrationally, feels that rejection, feels that mother just left me feeling, even though they're a baby. And so as they grow up through their life, if they never tune into that, you can look at a person's record, as Ron, as I can show you from connecting and helping him, he had quite a record of abandonment, of people betraying him again and again and letting him down, and him feeling left and abandoned each time. And so what's amazing, though, is once we could tune in and see that and then clear that, set the intention to actually release that vibrationally, everything shifted for him. And now there's trust and there's this sense of self-love and self-worth instead of this rejection, this part in him that used to really, it was like self-sabotage. I'm going to tear myself up because something's wrong with me. I'm not lovable. I'm unlovable. I was given away. And it may sound like not a big deal to somebody, But that for his life was a huge deal. And most of the clients that I help and work with, whatever they're going through, I was helping a woman the other night on the phone, and we're going to actually do a clearing soon. But I was tuning into her vibrationally, and she was just like, Tanya, I haven't really had any big trauma in my life. So what's my problem? Like, I've got this stuff going on, and I mean, it's like I had a decent childhood, and I don't know what's going on. And I was listening to her for a while, and I said, you may not think that this is a big deal, but it is a trauma to you. Like how you were treated, how you were controlled, how things were taken from you, and your sense of freedom was in jeopardy. It affected her vibrationally. It affected her sense of trust. So even though she wasn't beaten and starved to death or anything major, she still vibrationally was affected by those different things that were done to her. And until she clears how it affected her soul personally, she will continue to fight and not trust and to feel like people are out to control her and get her. And once she can clear that vibrationally, she'll be at that place that we were talking about in the beginning of the show, centered, at ease. I live in trust. And it's like this inner battle ends. And for so many of us, we're so used to that battle. We're so used to that inner fight and turmoil, or not even always inner. If that's going on internally, we often are fighting with people externally as well. And we get so used to that. It's like the uncomfortably comfort zone of, I'm used to tension, I'm used to drama, I'm used to betrayal, I'm used to anger, I'm used to negative energy. So let's see what I can create today. And once we see and we start to realize we're suffering, and for some souls, it has to get really intense to wake them up. Like this woman contacted me. She's like, I am done, Tanya. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to heal. And I was so proud of her. Like, awesome. Because that's when the angels summon clients to me. I don't really work with the ones, that are still wanting to complain and make excuses. I just don't. My soul is going to be very powerful for a soul that's like, Tanya, I'm freaking done, and I'm ready to clear this. I'm ready to move forward in an amazing new way. And every one of them that I've helped that's done their own inner work has had a profound shifts and amazing transformation. And so we need to be responsible for that, though. We need to realize that, do I want to keep fighting internally? Do I want to keep having this internal battle? Or do I want ease? Do I want peace? And we're not going to get peace by going and, telling another country how they should behave or not behave. We're not going to get peace by telling our government how they should behave, or getting mad at our neighbor because she's religious and we're not, or they aren't religious and we are. None of that is going to help us with peace. And so many people I've listened to, it's like this insanity of, what motivates you? Why are you so angry? Why are you so fighting for that change? Well, I just want it to be peaceful. I just want the world to be a better place. Then start today with yourself. This is really where the work will be most powerful, is stop pointing your focus outside of yourself and go look in the mirror right here. Look at yourself. Like, I just thought of that Michael Jackson song, The Man in the Mirror. That's a great song. It just popped in my head. So maybe listen to that song by Michael Jackson. But basically, it's all about changing self, not changing self like there's something wrong with self, but looking in the mirror and being truthful with what you see. What's going on inside of you? Where are you sabotaging yourself? Where are you making excuses? And where are you letting fear control you and paralyze you? It's really important that we stop choosing that if we want change. If you don't want change, keep doing that. Like, keep on staying in that place of fear and paranoia and anxiety. Some people, they say that I'm so stressed. I'm always worried. I hate worrying. I hate stressing. I honestly will watch them and for a few minutes go, no, you don't. You love it. And what are you talking about? You love it. You love your drama. You love your stress. Because if you didn't, you'd be willing to shift it. You'd go to yoga instead of go to the bar. You'd go do meditation instead of go get that Starbucks and get your body all freaked out on caffeine. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying every one of us makes these choices. And these choices, the easy choices, often are they seem the most appealing, like, ooh, go get drunk, go get high, go get some caffeine, go get some sugar, go have some sex, go shopping. All those choices are very simple and easy and just kind of glamorous, and they look really quick fix, like, ooh, that'll satisfy me. But big picture, they never do. And so ultimately, I feel if we just focus inward and we start doing that work inside, this is where the power of meditation comes in. It's going to be where we start to quiet the mind chatter. We start to tune out from this external movie long enough to just tune in and know self. Stop worrying about who's interested in you or how cute you are and if they want to date you or how do I get that guy to date me online, and focus internally on how do I get myself to love myself? How do I feel comfortable and at ease with hanging out by myself? How can I just take a breath and trust and be completely in the moment and content? That's the true work. And that doesn't maybe seem very appealing to many of us because, again, I don't really feel in society we're really given this glamorous approach with that. But to my life in particular, I can say it is worth it. It is worth it. And there will be times that what you're doing looks so boring to people around you because you're just being. You're just sitting there listening to the wind. You're just sitting there with the trees and you're just appreciating the beauty and you're feeling your own self-love. You're feeling that love just to be in the moment, just to watch those people laughing. It's the simple connection. It's that connection to the now that each of you is really wanting. And that sense of deep inner peace and transformation that will come when you come home to yourself is beyond words. Like, I can't even put it into words. It's something that must be experienced. And the best thing I can do as a healer is help you to see where you're doing things that are sabotaging that and how to quiet all that chatter, how to choose differently and choose in a more empowered way. And if you are listening and you're really ready and you're really done suffering, then make that move in that direction. But if you're not, be honest and stop lying. Stop saying how much you hate suffering and how much you hate being sick and how much you hate having this drama with your mother-in-law, and just stop talking about it, because all you're doing vibrationally is feeding it. And that's really never going to shift anything. And so I just feel like today it's all about empowering self-love, self-worth, self-esteem. That's where it's at. And I promise, as each one of us does this work and loves ourselves and comes back and is true to self, and as we start to tune in and honor what we really need to feel at ease and to feel peace, we will be the change that this world's ready for. We will each transcend and transform our external experience. But it's never going to happen by me sitting at home on a computer, angry and stressed out about what everyone else is not doing right. It will never do anything to help you. That's just going to upset you. And if you like that and you get excited from that feeling, keep doing it. But if really you realize that you want peace and you want ease and you want things to open for you, you want people to just respond to you vibrationally in a more loving way, know that you hold that power and it's in your choices. And I honestly, for those of you that look up to me in any way and you see that I have moved through a lot of things, and maybe you're like, wow, how is she so peaceful and positive all the time? And there's times where I'm pissed, you know it. But for the most part, I stayed very peaceful. And when I have lost my alignment and gotten really pissed, the thing that's amazing is that I really quickly learn, like, wow, that wasn't worth it. Like, that was so not worth it. I'm going to just come back to this happy place and I'll still deal with those things, but I don't want to lose my vibrational alignment again, because it feels terrible. So you learn it quickly. But for those of you that look to someone like me and you think, how is she doing that? Listen really to what I'm saying. It's simple, but there is self-awareness work all the time. Like, I'm constantly aware of every thought I'm thinking, everything I'm speaking, everything that I'm creating. What is it I want to create? What is it I want to experience? And how do I want to vibrationally affect something? This is all something I hold power of in myself. And there's no more victimization